It's nice to meet you. Yeah, me and Chloe, like Maria said, are going to be doing the interview. We're both master's students on the screen performance course. So I'll just start straight away. So the first question is, have you always known that you wanted to go into acting / directing?
Acting, no, actually, because acting, that was an episode for a short time. I went to a pantomime school for 1 year, and then I went for half a year for acting school because I wanted to know what it is, and I was curious. It was pretty in the beginning of my where everything interested me. So I said to myself, okay, I'm doing one by one. I'm learning, I'm experiencing one by one. And then I learned in the acting school that I don't want to be an actor. Absolutely not. It's I found it's too difficult. I mean, the most difficult is to be so present and to open the emotions, to be kind of naked in a way. And I didn't like it. I liked more the idea to have the camera between, to hide myself a little bit behind the camera and being more in the shadow and telling the stories these ways. So if I always, difficult to say. Well, it started. I guess it started. I was 12. Yeah, I was 12 when I decided I'm going to be a director, and this was after seeing Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. It's still the best episode, if someone asks. The only true Star Wars episode with mystery and a very serious one also. And I was blown away because I didn't expect this. And after I started to research special effects, building these worlds, how to make it, how did they make it so believable? That was astonished me mostly. So building the world and telling a story and making me believe that it's real. This was the most, for me, the thing that interested me most on it. So I started background research, books, and then eventually I discovered the Super 8 camera. It's a camera with films, 8mm films, cassettes 3 minutes long, and I started to make my own film experiments. So. Yeah, and these experiments are still on. I'm still doing these experiments in a way.
You directed for the TV series Absentia. How long did it take you to film a season?
How long did it to film?
Yeah.
The shooting, it was 2019. We started in November, beginning of November, and till December 18th. So it wasn't even 2 months. So it was quite fast and quite hard experience. It was 45 minutes each episode. I was doing 4 episodes, and it was 7 shooting days for each episode. And this is a standard because this is standard. When I was working in Poland before, that was also 6 to 7 days an episode. Also, American TV shows, I learned that's a little bit similar. If there are 10 days, this is luxury. HBO, I know that on HBO often there are 10 days, 10 shooting days. Of course, it also depends how complicated it is. But by the other hand, the production was so well organized. It was a big crew. It was like 150 people around, and everything was made instantly. We didn't wait for anything. So this made also possible to have this speed. to maintain the speed in shooting. Absentia, it's not a deep, it's not very deep, but I learned a lot on the set, and I had fun, and it was really good fun there. And it was absolute new experience with a new production method, with the American production, which works a little bit different than European production. And that was very interesting.
What is your favorite thing about being a director?
That's a good question. What's my favorite thing? I think directing for me, it's like a decathlon in sports. You're doing so many different things, and I'm interested in so many things, and so many different ways. So there is no. I started to love routine because there are so many things. I don't know. I think every aspect, mostly shooting on the set, mostly. I think that's for every director the same. And then editing, the post-production editing. This is where the film comes to life, when it starts working, when the story, when the film appears out of these little bits of scenes and the shots and the moments gathered together before. I think but I like the whole process, and it's a strange thing, because I have the feeling that the film belongs to me only when I'm doing it. As long as I'm working on it, it's my film. When I finish the film and the film is out there in the world, it doesn't belong to me. I lose somehow a strong connection with this film. I still have the connection. I mean, it's my baby then, of course, but it has its own life, and the most important project is always the one I'm working on right now.
When you're writing scripts, what gives you the inspiration?
Well, another good question, and not an easy one, because there are so many sources of inspiration. And it starts with a script already written, which I rewrite, which I did twice. And then on like article or a novel, for example. Very good inspirations are short stories. Short stories are very good inspirations for scripts, and not so much books for me. It's more like short stories, more events. I hear about characters, of course. Characters which I see, oh, that's a great character. Now I have to invent a story for him.
So do you base certain characters off of people you know, and like events that have happened in real life, stuff that you've seen?
Yeah, either I get to know somebody, or I read about somebody, or I read in the newspaper. The newspaper is a pretty good source of inspiration. I have some projects out of newspaper. I asked this question to Krzysztof Kieślowski when he came with his film Tricolor Thread. He came to our film school for a Q&A, presentation Q&A, and I asked him how do you realize that an actor is a good actor? And he said, well, I want that an actor is able to come into the room, sit on the chair, and start to cry, and I want to believe him. So it's all about, do I believe him? It's my criteria also. Do I believe him, or do I see the actor, or do I forget that this is the actor? If I forget that we're in casting and that this is actor, so something magic happens. If I still see an actor crying, so something's not working. And mostly it's because the actor doesn't have access really to his real emotions. That's what happens. Because this is a very hard job, acting. This is very schizophrenic, because at one point he has to lose control, to get to these emotions and to live the emotions. But by the other hand, he has to control everything. He has to control the movements, the marks. He has to hit the marks, and so on. And this is not an easy task. And there are talents. I mean, best actors, very good actors are kids, because kids, they're not thinking much; they're doing it. And you tell them, and they're just doing it. If they're not, if they don't have a too good education at home, where parents say do this, do that, but if they are free enough spirits to express themselves and are not criticized for that, so they will do it, and they do it naturally. And this is something that we lose during education, during contacts with other people, also just the limitations we have. And then the acting school, it's actually should be rediscovering these tools that the kids have. On my third year, I met Krzysztof Kieślowski. He was my teacher for 1 year, which opened absolutely new world in front of me, because I learned with him that film is very concrete. It's a craft. It's so much art, and it's mostly craft. It's engineering. And you can everything you can bring down to you can ask questions about everything, about why this movement, why is the actor looking this way and not the other way, and you need to have the answer for that. So every moment needs to have a meaning, and you need to know, as a director, you need to know why it has a meaning. And it was then when I was starting to redefine my motivation for making film, for discovering. It's my discovering tool, discovering of the world and discovering of myself. And I think it still is. It's still the most thing that drives me. It's heading for something new, to find a story that interests me, and to dive into this story and dive into these characters, into these events, and to get to know a part of life, a part of the world which I didn't know before, and to get to know myself, or how I react to this, and how I see it, what's important for me for it. It's a constant back and forward